It's another edition of Heart to Heart. My name is Elmira. I am your host. Here we have candid conversations about breakthroughs with different leaders of the world. And today we are doing part three of our chat with Lawrence Harris and on limiting beliefs. And I figured today we would talk about goals, especially with us heading into 2025. We want to discuss goals. Like for me, goals is something I make every week. Like every week I actually sit down and write out a list of goals for myself. Like one of the things I wanted to do this week was do 4 days of yoga. And I did one of two more to go. So I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm working on my goals, getting them accomplished, getting them knocked off the list because we gotta have goals for the day. Otherwise,
Yep.
we're wandering around aimlessly, right?
Yes.
How are you today, Lawrence?
Fantastic. I actually just got an email back from an organization in my city that wants to do a call with
Oh,
me, and they want to discuss my fees. They want to discuss interviewing me because, without going too in detail about it, because that could be a while, it's an organization that helps at-risk teens and young adults. So people who are facing things like homelessness,
yeah.
mental health, crisis centers, food scarcity, people who are in vulnerable positions. So in an hour, we're going to be doing a call where they're going to be interviewing me to first figure out, am I somebody they want to bring in to talk to their audience? How much do I charge? When can I do it? They want to know all those details. So this is going to
This
be a fun
is
one.
remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because that's one of your goals.
Yeah.
Like,
One of my goals for the end of the year, it was originally to do a speech in a different state. And I had it all written down on my wall. Like it's a note and it's 18 steps. And we're on to step 11. But hey, I'll take one in my city too.
yeah, because you know what it is. This is one thing I realized years ago. When we set a goal or when we have a vision and we set out to do something, we never know the how.
Yep.
Like we just speak it to God, we speak it to the universe, and it's like, I want to do that. But I don't know how. Like years ago I was like, I want a relationship. I want to be in love. I want to start my business. Whatever it was I said, I didn't know it was going to happen like this. Like
Yeah.
don't expect to know the how. Just set out for your vision, set out for your goals. And I know you're big on speaking of limiting beliefs.
Yeah.
What do you see, particularly you help young adults around all facets of life,
Yeah.
but what have you noticed with limiting beliefs around goals with young people?
Well, there's a belief that they can't even achieve the goal. So if you believe that you can't achieve anything, why set the goal in the first place? So there's a lack of goals because there's a lack of belief in your ability to achieve a goal. So a great example I like to use is a, a super common one that people want to achieve is weight loss. In 2025, I'll lose XYZ amount of pounds, or it could be some people want to gain weight. I want to
Mm-hmm.
gain, you know, XYZ amount of pounds. But if you don't believe that you are dedicated enough to go to the gym, or to eat the right diet, or to remove soda, or to add enough protein into your diet, you're not going to even set the goal because you don't believe that you could achieve it in the first place. And when we're trying to set goals, we have to, at the minimum, be able to imagine ourselves achieving that thing. We have to mentally picture ourselves as losing the weight,
How
gaining
do
the weight, making more
you,
money.
okay, quick
Yep.
question, because people are going to say, I can't see myself doing that because in my current position, I'm like 190 pounds and I really want to be 130. How do you even see yourself achieving that goal?
It's I'm gonna try to find a way to word this because it's you just mentally think about it. Like right now, think about a pink elephant. Have you ever
Okay.
seen a Have you ever seen a pink elephant?
No, but I see one in my head
Yes. So
and
just like a pink
I can draw
elephant,
it on this piece of paper right here.
yeah. So if you can mentally picture something you've never seen, you can mentally picture being something you've never been. Like
Hmm.
you know what you would look like. Well, not exactly, but you have a good enough idea what you'd look like if you lost 60 pounds. You have a good enough idea of if your goal is to make $1 million, you can mentally picture $1 million in your Bank of America account. How you're going to get there, that comes later. But you have to mentally picture having what you want. And now you know the end outcome, you just reverse engineer it. So if I wanted to make $1 million in 1 year, how much money is that per day? Okay, so if I make this amount of money every day, I can make $1 million at the end of the year.
Hmm.
How? I got no clue. But now I know what I want, how to get it, like what's the plan. Now I just have to set the plan into motion.
Yeah, and that planning piece can be can be challenging,
Yes.
especially like what you're just talking about, like $1 million. And one thing that I've started to actually, I started saying this 2 years ago. I said I am Mr. Millionaire, like I am a millionaire, and I started to put myself into the place of what kinds of things will I do or am I doing as millionaire Elmira. And
Yes.
some of those things that I like to do is give people money. And so, for example, just last week, I saw this thing on Facebook, and this lady was like, be a secret Santa to someone if they share their Cash App in the comments. And
Mm,
I just sent $5 to two of those people because that's what millionaire Elmira would do. But let's say this was 5 years ago and I just kind of blanketly was like, I want to be a millionaire, but I didn't define what that actually looked
yeah.
like. Now that I've defined and you said visualize, see what I would do, I'm giving money. So now I'm starting to give the money. I'm actually giving the money now.
Yeah.
Granted, as a millionaire, I probably could give 500, 5,000 times
Yeah.
over to people, but it's important to start practicing that right now. What are some things you think young adults can practice today as they prepare for 2025? Because, school break
Mm,
is in, Christmas is here, everybody excited,
yeah.
the new year. But what are some things young adults can start doing? Like, they're like, 2025, I'm graduating,
Yeah.
2025, I'm getting me a new job. Whatever it is they want to do in 2025, what are some steps?
I would say start with the absolute smallest things you can achieve every day and do those consistently. Because using the example of losing weight, losing 60 pounds is it's very possible. I've seen tons of people do it, but it's not easy.
Hmm.
But what is easy is brushing your teeth, making your bed, putting on your shoes. Doing these very small things builds trust because a lot of times when we have these beliefs that I can't achieve anything, I can't lose the weight, I can't get the job, I can't get a relationship, it comes down to a lack of trust within ourselves. Because if you don't trust yourself, you won't believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you won't believe in your goal. And if you don't believe in your goal, you're never going to do the things needed to get to the goal. So, starting at the absolute smallest thing, make your bed every day, brush your teeth every day, put on some shoes if you have them, every day. And from there, now you have a good foundation. And from that foundation, you can build on top of, okay, I trust myself to brush my teeth. I can take care of myself. If I can take care of myself, that means I can do healthy things. If I can do healthy things, that means that I can go to the gym. If I can go to the gym, that means I can take even better care of my body. And then you fast forward a while and you lost 50 pounds. So start at the bare minimum and then work your way up. Don't try to move the mountains on the first step. Start with the shovel.
You got to start with the. And as you're speaking of this, you're making me reflect on how I lost weight. Like I started small, just like you said. I was working out in my house. I was just simply walking. And then one day somebody invited me to this gym workout session. It was free. I was like, you know what? I'll go. Then at the end of it, the trainer, he offered this package deal. You pay monthly. I said, you know what? I'll do that. But it was all of those steps which lined up. If
Yeah.
I hadn't been already working out, then I got the invite. Then I said yes. So it's also like, what do you think? Because sometimes we can be presented with these opportunities, but we say no, and it actually aligns with our
Mm.
goals. Why do we say no to things that we know would actually be good for us, that we should say yes to?
There's a lot of
Because it's a
reasons for
goal.
that.
What's that?
There's a lot of reasons for that one, but a few of them are firstly, a lot of times we're actually afraid of getting what we want because if okay, if you became the absolute best version of yourself, like let's just say I had a magic wand and then boom, you're your absolute best self, whatever that means to you. Maybe that might mean you have all the money you want, you have the health, you have fitness, you have a loving family, you have everything you could ever want. But you got that and you still have the mindset of, I don't deserve it. If you believe you don't deserve it, I could offer you the $1 million. I could offer you the health. I could offer you everything. But when we believe that we don't deserve it, we'll say no because we don't believe that we deserve the thing we want.
Hmm. I was kind of thinking about that this morning. Like,
Like it,
go ahead.
it seems so backwards, but this is the reason why a lot of people don't try because, oh, that job's not even going to accept me. Oh, you
Hmm.
see somebody on the street who you find attractive, oh, they're just going to reject me. You have the option to try a new activity like maybe fishing or music or learning an instrument. I'm not even going to be good at it. So
So we
because you,
gave up.
yeah, you quit before you even started the game. So when we keep quitting before even starting the game, we don't allow ourselves the opportunity to become good. Like most things I started them and I sucked at it. Playing the violin.
Like what?
Like
Like what?
I used to play the violin. When I first started, I sucked at it. Sometimes you have to sometimes you have to be comfortable looking stupid for a while before you can be smart. Like a
Hmm.
baby does not know how to do basic math, but over time they figure it out and then they learn how to do it. So when we're afraid of that ties into judgment too. When we're afraid of what people will think of us, it'll stop us from doing the things that are good for us. Like, oh, what if I go to the gym and people look at me? If your goal is to lose weight, but you never work out because what are people going to think of me? You never go to the gym because what if they look at me? You never run laps around your block because what are my neighbors going to think of me? You're never going to lose the weight and you're never going to get the goal because you didn't allow yourself to just try, like just go in.
Yeah, you definitely, and you gotta look foolish. You talking about walking
Yeah.
around the neighborhood.
I mean,
I've
I
done
did this
that,
before.
yeah, I've done it in the cold. I've done it whatever. I've actually, and this is recent, I've actually like skipped in the on the sidewalk and people are probably like, "What is that lady doing skipping on the?" I don't care. And I'll
Yes.
walk backwards because I wanted to practice walking backwards and I've gotten really good at it now. So it's
Yes.
like,
So
because the thing, Lawrence, I want you to talk about this too, because some of our goals are that unique. It made me think about it with the walking backwards. That's something I wanted to do. Nobody else said, Elmira, you should learn to walk backwards or practice walking backwards. It was just something I felt I wanted to do.
yeah.
What do you say, or talk more about if your goals seem crazy?
Okay.
Like, how do you, what do you do?
Well, that's actually like one of my areas of specialty because I'm going to use a great example throughout my life. For most of my life, I was insanely skinny, like ridiculously weak. But my goal was I want to get strong. I want to go to the gym. And that one is a pretty simple one. But to go from barely able to lift 10 pounds to now 200, that kind of jump took a long time, but it was possible. And with really unique goals, such as I want to be a professional public speaker at 18 years old, I want to get flown around the country and do all these big things. That's a really unique goal, unless you are also a public speaker. If you're a public speaker, that's
Hmm.
just normal. So you have to realize that your goals are possible. Somebody's achieved it. If your goal was to create a, like, you want to revolutionize the smartphone industry, iPhone has done it before, so there's nothing stopping you. Yes, they're a massive company. Yes, they have all these decades of experience, but at some point, long ago, it was just a guy on a computer in his garage. And now we have the internet and we have access to resources that they didn't have originally.
Hmm.
So when we have these unique goals and we feel like it's, oh, nobody can relate to this, nobody understands this, it's only a goal that I have, I'm quite sure you can find somebody who has it. And you have to surround yourself with people who are similar to you with that kind of goal. Because public speakers have groups where we all meet up, we talk about public speaking, so we normalize a abnormal goal. If you wanted to become an artist and you want to sell paintings, find other artists who sell paintings. Now, the goal that seems delusional to everybody who doesn't relate to you, that's normal in this community. It's normal to sell paintings if you're in an art club. It's normal to be full time paid to talk if you're around public speakers.
Hmm.
So when we feel like our goal is too far out there, it's too weird, it's too unique, nobody's gonna relate. Find the people who relate to that goal. You can go online, you can find a club, a community, an online group, an event, a networking event, whatever your unique goal is, find people with that goal, and now that goal becomes normal.
Yeah, because you speak about different groups, like get on Eventbrite, go
Yeah,
to eventbrite.com. There's events, there's meetup.com, all kinds of stuff. Because I remember when I moved to Nashville years ago, that's what I would do. I would find these meetup groups who had similar interests or people who had also just moved to the city, other business owners, whoever. I was just like, let me network, let me meet some people.
yes,
And that's, you're speaking about networking too, meeting up with people who have similar goals. How important do you think that is? How important is it to align with people who have similar goals as you?
I would say that is one of the most important things. Like it's top three because let's use the example of going to a new country. Before we had planes, it would be hundreds of people who would get on a boat and they would sail across the ocean to a place they'd never seen, never heard of, in order to discover a new land. That is crazy. But if you were just one person on that boat, how are you going to be on the boat, look for icebergs, steer the boat, feed yourself, cook the food, clean the boat, do everything by yourself? There's no way. But if you have a team of people who relate to you and connect with you, you can all work together. You can learn from them. They can learn from you. You can work on projects together. You can build a company together. That's why you have a marketing department. You have a HR department. You have the people who work inside the store. You have the delivery truck. You have the warehouse. You have the CEO. You have the vice president. If you don't have a team around you and you have a big goal, it's going to be very difficult to achieve it by yourself. And
Mm.
if you, another thing too, if right now you don't have a marketing department and all these fancy things, I don't have that. I'm a one-man band. But what I do have is people I connect with, such as you, where I come on Instagram Live. This is marketing. This is connecting with people. Who knows who could see this? I go to networking events. I send emails. I'm connecting with people who can connect me to the goal. And if you don't have a team of people, if you don't have connections, if you don't have a network of people you can relate to, if you don't have friends who support you, if you don't have encouragement, if you don't have any sort of support system whatsoever, it's almost destined you're going to fail if that goal is big
Mm.
because you've got nobody cheering you on, you've got nobody helping you, you've got nobody saying, hey, Lawrence, I saw this event that you should go to because there's people there looking for public speakers. If you've got nobody in your circle, you're like the person on the boat having to steer the boat, having to watch out for icebergs, having to cook the food. You'll just be stuck out there by yourself. You need
That's a
people
lot.
around you.
Yeah, you need those people because, like you said, on that boat, you trying to do it all. Or like in my choir days, I'm trying to sing alto, soprano, tenor,
Yes,
baritone. It ain't gonna work. It's
you can't
like
do it all.
I need a team.
Like,
I need a team for sure.
yes.
What are some as we go into 2025, what are some goals you feel somebody who's a teenager should be focused on?
Mm,
And I use that word should lightly because each of us are an individual, but let's say we're
correct.
speaking of a 16-year-old and they want to do something next year. They
Okay.
want to do something great. How can they determine what that goal should be or goals, plural?
Okay. So I would say when it comes down to finding out what you individually want, that's something that you have to figure out. I can't tell you what you want. I can't tell you what your life specifically should be. But I can
Mm-hmm.
tell you that three things that I believe all people, regardless of age, ethnicity, background, gender, however, three things I believe all people should do is if you're obviously physically capable, is take good care of your health. So that could mean dance clubs, yoga, weightlifting, cardio, some sort of goal that takes care of your health. Maybe going to the gym 3 days a week. Another one, something intellectual, reading a book. Um, if you decide that college is the path you want to go down, college, getting good grades in school, paying close attention in class, asking questions, reading books, something intellectual. And the third is something spiritual. So that could be a religion for somebody. It could be meditation. It could be journaling. It could be whatever spirituality means to you. The reason why is that if you're not in good health, if you're not in good intellect, and you're not in good faith, whatever faith means to you, your life is just going to start spiraling. Because imagine if every day you wake up with chronic back and knee pain. We can
Mm-hmm.
we can prevent that by taking care of your body. You're a whole lot happier when you don't have back pain and knee pain.
Say that again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Intellectual. Let's say somebody needs information on something, or you need to figure out how to be more productive. You need to figure out how to handle stress. Reading books can help with that. Going to seminars, a degree if you decide I want to become a doctor. You need an educational background to be a doctor. Something spiritual. This one is going to affect your life in so many ways. If you don't feel a connection to something higher, whether that be a God, universe, a creator, whatever the case may be for you, if you don't feel a connection to nature, if you don't feel a connection to your spirit and soul, you're going to feel dead. You can have everything else in your life perfectly lined up, but if you're out of connection spiritually, it's like you're out of connection with your deeper self. You're out of connection with your creator, with the universe, with nature. So if you're in good health, you're physically capable of doing things such as playing with your children. If you have terrible knee pain, you can't pick up your kid. If you're in good intellect, you'll be equipped with the mental knowledge to go and use it. You'll know how to fix the car. You might not know hands on, but you know mentally what to do. And then you can take that mental knowledge and then apply it. And if you're in good spirit, you're in good connection to something higher, to nature, whatever it means to you. So, yeah, take care of your body, mind, and spirit.
yeah, and the way you're framing this, because, I originally asked, this is a 16-year-old.
Yes.
That 16-year-old must be intentional about this too. It can't just be, oh, I think I'll go to the gym in
Oh,
April.
no,
Like,
no, no, no. See, that's something that I used to do, and I'm talking about this because when I was 16, this is what I started to do, and now look at my life. So I'm not speaking about this from theory. I'm speaking about this from what I actually applied. Because if you take good care of your body, you're going to have good self esteem and good body confidence most of the time. Yes, there's people who get body dysmorphia and they start overly comparing themselves to an Instagram model or some dude on steroids. Yes, that happens. But in the majority of cases, taking good care of your body makes you look better. You look better, you feel better about yourself. So if you're 16 and you're like, oh, but I can't get to the gym, I don't have money for the gym, I don't have
oh,
XYZ, push ups.
there go their money beliefs.
Yeah, you got enough money to do some push ups. You have enough money to go run around the block. You have enough money to play football with somebody or ride a bike or go for a run. Oh, but I don't know where to buy some books. Free libraries, thrift stores, um, YouTube, Audible, Amazon, and you can just look up books. Like just look up books for whatever subject. Oh, but the church is so far away. They got online churches now.
Mm, true.
You can get a Bible for free mailed to your house. Like you can go to church websites and they will mail your Bible for free.
There you go. And you making me hold on, I'm gonna get a sip of water here. There's things like you talk about being able to get a Bible shipped to you. There's also things for your spiritual life. Insight Timer. You got the Calm app.
Yes,
So if you're a person who wants to meditate, they have free meditations on there. Like
yes,
all of this stuff is, we say, because I know this is what you highlight, limiting beliefs. We've often said this thing so much that we start to believe it. Nothing in life is free. Yes, it
mm,
is.
okay,
There's so much in, like, I'm looking at sunshine right now. This conversation is free. Yes, granted, I had to pay my phone bill so I can talk to you and get the internet and all that
yes,
stuff. But really and truly, I ain't had to pay nothing extra.
yes. And the thing with these beliefs are often we're we're not born with any of them. Every belief that you have, whether it's positive or negative, is something that somebody told you long ago and you internalized it. So I like to use the analogy of having an audience inside of your head. Imagine all these beliefs of, I don't have enough money, I'm not tall enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not smart enough, I can't lose that weight, I can't gain the weight, I'll never be strong. All of these are a person in your head that said this to you long ago, but you started to believe it.
Hmm.
So when it comes to things like, oh, but I can't get to the gym because it's all at the bottom of my city and I live at the top of my city, which is actually my case right now. I've changed the location of my gym membership.
Hmm. Good
So
idea.
if you have Planet Fitness, you can get Planet Fitness access to any location in the country. So that one, you don't live as far away from a gym as you think. You might live out in the suburbs and it's hard to get to one, but if you have a car, you don't have an excuse about not getting there. If you have public transportation, problem solved. If you have Uber, problem solved. Now, but circling back to the beliefs about our goals, and you also mentioned, I'll start going in April. Don't start going in April. Do not start going in April because that is January, February, March, April, 4 months. If you just started going today, now you just set the ball in motion.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen a white river?
A what?
It's called a white river. Oh,
No.
white water river. So what
Okay,
it
I know what you're talking
yeah.
about now. Yeah.
So for those you don't know, a white water river is a river that's moving so fast and so hard that the water looks white because of all like the air and bubbles in there. In order for you to make one of those go a different direction, you need to put so much force that you stop a river that is like rushing down. The same thing happens with people. You need to put things into momentum. If all of your life you've never gone to the gym, you've never taken steps to improve yourself, you haven't picked up a book in a while, you haven't done any of these habits that will get you to your goal, you need to, as soon as possible, start putting things in the right direction. You need to change the river from going down, then you need to start blocking it and slowly move it in the direction you want it to go. And once you get something moving in the direction you want it to go, it's a lot harder to stop doing it. Like for me, once I make going to the gym a part of my daily routine, I don't even think about it. It's just like I wake up and I'm like, oh, what do I need to do today? Okay, I got to go to the gym. What do I
Yeah.
need? I don't need to think about what I need to bring. I already have it in my bag. So I just wake up, I put on my shoes, and I'm out the door. And by making that a habit, it would be really hard for me to break the routine. Like I would have to go weeks without going to the gym to stop doing that. Because once you set the ball in motion and you get things going how you want them to, you just add momentum. You add momentum. You add momentum. And you can't stop a train by just pushing it with your hand. But you can stop it if it's moving really slow. But over time, that little bit more, and then now it's moving really fast. And that's how momentum is going to improve your life. Do the good habit a little bit every day, and before you know it, you just change your life.
That kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier. Start small, start with them little steps. Because I can imagine there was a time when you were, because you said you started some of these habits when you were 15, when you were
Yeah,
16 or whatever. Back then, it could have just been, I'm doing some push up. Like literally, how did you
yes.
start? What did you do?
Let's. I'm gonna try to remember as far back as I can, like the absolute basics. It started out with just some weight in my backyard. It then moved into me journaling. Like for the last 3 years, I've journaled almost every day.
Hmm.
And the reason I started doing that was just to get your thoughts down. When you write down your thoughts, it helps you to reflect, helps you to plan, has a lot of benefits for your whole life. So I recommend everyone start journaling. Then after that, it moved into going to like an actual gym once COVID ended. I improved the kind of friends I hung around. I started to improve what I ate. It was really small, simple things done over a very long amount of time that led to big results. Like if you go to the gym and you do 10 push-ups, you won't really see much results. But if you did 10 push-ups every day for 5 years, you're going to see very big results.
Yes, that
Yeah.
consistency. What, okay, what about the people who don't want to wait 5 years? They're like, I need my goal right now. I need my $1 million right now. I need to lose the weight right now. Need to get into college right now. I
Um.
need to make that A right now. I need to get this girlfriend right now. I need my prom date right now.
So with that, because I've actually had people say that to me before, and I just asked them like, how long do you think you have left to live? Like 50 years, 80 years, 30 years? So what is 5 years in comparison to 30? Very little. And on top of that, assuming you live longer than 5 more years, which I hope everyone does, the time's going to go by either way.
True.
So, do you want to start now, or do you want to start in 5 years and wonder, and then you're reflecting back and being like, if I started 5 years ago, imagine how far I'd be now. So, if you live longer than 5 years, the time's going to go by either way. So, you might as well start now. Like, I'm not telling you to go run a marathon. I'm telling you to go walk around the block. It'll take you 5 minutes.
Yeah. It only takes 5 minutes, and that's what I think about like with my exercise regimen. It's like I have to do it. I can't, as you were saying, I can't not do it because something in me is like, why are you not moving? Why are
Yes,
you not doing your strength training? Why didn't you take that walk? Like,
yes,
what am I going to do? Just sit here and scroll on Instagram
yes,
or watch TV? I could, but my body and all of this is saying, Elmira, get up and move. Like,
yes.
do
And
something.
that right there is something that just made me reflect so much. Because you just spoke about something I've been trying to put into words, but have been very hard to. Once you do a habit for a long enough amount of time, you're going to have like this little voice inside your head that goes, you need to do it. For most
It sure
people,
will.
for most people, you can imagine it like, you want to eat that cookie. You want that burger. Oh, it's only one cookie. It's only one. If you can take that and flip it into, you need to work out today. Imagine how good you feel after. If you went to the gym today, you'd feel really good. You'd be happy. You'd be in a good mood. Everything would be great. You should go to the gym today. So by listening to that voice, when it tells you to do the good thing, it builds it up and builds it up. And before you know it, you have like a little hype person in your head that goes, go to the gym today.
I love, I love the hype
Yeah.
person.
But regardless of the habit you do, you're feeding that hype person to tell you what to tell yourself. So if you're always
Yeah.
scrolling and you're always, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I just want to make that clear. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I do it sometimes too. I catch myself scrolling too. I'm human. But whatever you feed that hype person is what they're going to feed back to you. Like, hey,
Mhm.
you just went to work today. Yeah, you only worked 4 hours, but you need to relax. There's nothing wrong with relaxing. And it's like it feeds that little seed. You're like, yeah, there is nothing wrong with relaxing. Yeah, and you should order um a double quarter pounder, extra bacon, extra cheese. Oh,
And an extra large Coca-Cola.
yeah, it's only one burger and one soda. It can't be that bad. And before you know it, you got clogged arteries because that little voice, feeds you little things. And you're like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But when you feed it the thing you want, like you feed it the stuff you need to do, like send out those emails today. That's an example I use with myself where every day I send 20 emails to organizations around the country, letting them know, like, hey, I'm Lawrence. Here's what I do. Here's my information. Here's how to contact me. Look forward to talking to you. I do that 20 times every single day. It doesn't matter if I'm tired, if I'm hungry, whatever. I got
Right.
24 hours to send out 20 emails. It's very boring. But by feeding that voice in my head that tell me, Lawrence, you need to do it. You got to do it. Go ahead and do it. I found ways to make it entertaining. Like I'll play music. I'll have a YouTube video going on in the back so that no matter what, I do what I need to do. And when it comes to our goals, nobody's saying that by next week you need to lose 50 pounds. If your goal for the end of the year is I want to lose 52 pounds, that's 1 pound a week. Without getting graphic, on average every day, you poop about 3. So all that
Right.
means is that every week you need to lose 4 burgers worth of weight.
Hmm.
You That's 4 burgers of weight every week. So
And it's so
yeah,
doable.
it's very doable to lose 1 pound a week. Now, of course, I'm not giving medical advice because depending on your situation, like your physical health, your health conditions, losing 52 pounds in a year might actually be life threatening for some people. But assuming that you are not at a weight where losing more would be threatening to you, it's very possible to lose 50 pounds in a year. I've seen somebody lose 100, and that's
Wow.
less than 2 pounds a week.
Yeah. And I've noticed as we close out, because I know you got another
Yes.
engagement to get to. Um, I follow this food blogger and he's young, like I think he's 23, 24, something like that. And starting out this year, he was overweight, but he made his goal to lose weight. He took us along on his journey throughout the year. And just like you said, he didn't say, when I first get on this treadmill at the gym, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. But guess what? He is now down. I think he's down like 50 or 60 pounds. And he looks amazing. He's like 6'4". He's so cute. He's so funny. But he committed and he's doing
Yes,
even with him and he still eats the food. But he
yes,
explained what goes on now. He's like, I only take one bite. I'm not sitting here gorging on this food. I'm taking the bite to give you all the reviews, but I had to make a commitment for my health.
yes. And with that commitment and standard. So there's a quote I heard that people don't fall to the level of their goal, they fall to the level of their standard. We need to make standards of what is and is not acceptable and apply that to every area of life. Often we hear standards in terms of relationships with other people, like, oh, it's my standard that I won't date a man who does XYZ. I won't date a woman who does XYZ. But what about the standard you held with yourself? What's the
Mm-hmm.
standard that every day I have to do this? No, no exceptions. No exceptions. What is the standard? If the standard is every day I'm going to go for a 30-minute run, that's the standard. That's the standard. If it's raining and storming outside, okay, go to the gym and use the treadmill for your run. It's not storming inside of there. If the standard is every day, I'm going to read 10 pages of a book, do it. You got 24 hours to read 10 pages. At the end of that 24 hours, you have to ask yourself, did I meet my standard?
Yeah.
And you're the one setting the standard. It's not the standard somebody else set. It's not the standard that somebody told you you should have. It is your standard. You're the one who made the rules of the game that you're playing. So if you make the rules, you decide the game, and you're the person playing it, you're the one who has to keep that standard. You can't say, oh, but it's only one time. Okay, but don't let one turn into two. Because if you let one turn to two, two will become four, four will be eight, eight will be 16, 32, 64, 128, so on and so on. It's the little things that get us. It's not if somebody smoked 20 packs of cigarettes that gets them. It's that first one.
Yeah.
And then that first one turns into two. And they're like, oh, it's not that bad. I got away with it. And before you know it, your lung collapses. Not off the first one, but because you let one turn to two. It's not that first burger that gets us. It's when we let one turn to two. It's not that first time somebody commits a crime that gets them. It's when they let that one turn to two, and now they think they can get away with stuff. And when we let ourselves get away with things, now it all comes falling down. So
Mm.
create, know what your goal is. Every year, I want XYZ. Okay. What do I need to do? I need to do these three things. Okay, that's the standard. Do that every day. You want to get a new job? How do you do it? I need to apply for jobs. How many do I need to apply for every day? Let's say apply for 3 every day on Indeed. Do that. And if you go to bed and you have not sent those 3 resumes, the only person you need to answer to is yourself.
Yeah.
Because you have yourself at the end of the year that has everything you want, and you have you here. If you here doesn't, if you here don't do what you need to do, you'll never get here. So when December 31st comes, if it's January 1st and then December 31st comes, the only person you're responsible to is yourself. You have to look in that mirror and say, did I hit my standard? Yes or no? There's not a maybe. There's not a somewhat. There is yes or no.
I think that's a great way to
Yup.
end. So everybody set those goals, and you're the one who's holding yourself accountable.
Yes.
So make sure you hold yourself accountable and don't waver. It's either going to be a yes or no. Well, again, thank you, Lawrence. Everybody, make sure you follow Lawrence on Instagram, Mr. Notorious. He has books available on Amazon, or you can contact him directly. He is also available to speak at your event, at your
Yep.
school, at your community organization, at your
Thank
function,
you.
whatever you're planning. Yes,
And my
hire
website's
him.
in my bio.
Yes, website is in the bio. Anything else before we close today?
No, that will be all. This was a
All
lovely conversation.
right. All right, bye everybody. This has been another edition of Heart to Heart. Peace.
Have a good one.